What's up, everybody? Ryan here. Sunday service call, no heat, one thermostat, breakers on, 64 degrees, set on 75. And we got a Trane. Looks like a new Trane too. Looks like a new Trane. What do we have here? Somebody got their something stuck in it when they put the panel on. Newer Trane, not sure on the year, but it looks brand new. Do we have a date of manufacture on here? I forget how to determine the year from the model and serial number, but it is made in China. Disconnect is open, and I'm assuming we have power. The breaker was on. We will just leave that be for right now. Let's take a quick peek at this. It's like a carrier style setup, you know, like that. But a Trane. Looks like we've got some, must have been a scratch and dent sale on this one. I don't know. Anyway, gonna go ahead and take the panel off and see if we've got any power here, see what we've got going on. Man, this thing is fancy. Look at all this fancy stuff. Look at that condenser fan motor. How the hell will you get to all that crap back there? And look, it's green, Trane green the whole way through. Sensors all over the place. Got here some truck stock. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, well, let me get the electrical panel opened up. I only had to take, what, 15 screws out to get this panel off? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 screws. So, not horrible. But yeah, it's a fancy one. Look at the support bracket on that freaking condenser fan. Freaking take your finger off. Look at that fucking fan blade. Filter dryer way back there. Very nice. Yeah. If you ever have to replace that, you're gonna be, I don't know, taking a fan motor out and jumping in from the top. Here, let me get this panel off. We'll start checking things and see what the hell's going on. And how do I get to this heating section? Oh man, look at this. A whole nother panel to take off. Whole nother panel to take off. The smoke detector wire is stripped. I'm gonna have to put some tape or something on that for sure. All right, I took this panel off, and now I have another panel. And lots of panels here. Is this gonna open? What the hell? Kinda. Oh, I got one screw here. I got a code EB. Hold on, let me set this down. All right, here we are, finally. I think I am up to 15 screws now. EB, I don't see any literature that came with this. Let's see what we got here. Code. I do not see an EB code. E. Let's read that again. E6. EB, E lowercase b, E6, I'm assuming E6. Discharge temperature protection for system A. Okay. Well, first off, let's see what we've got here as far as a call for heat. Somebody trashed this smoke detector wire. Get my meter out, we'll see what we got. A call for what? It is calling for heat at the thermostat. So let's see if we've got a call for heat up here at the unit. All right, so I've got nothing. No 24 volts coming out of the board through the smoke detector. Nothing. Nothing at W. Nothing. So we're not feeding through the smoke detector. Well, actually, let me check here. Nothing. Yeah, nothing. So E6 was E6. What did I say? I was looking at P. E6, evaporator coil sensor fault for system B. E6. I must have been reading the wrong one. I was reading P. E6, evaporator coil temperature sensor failure for system B. All right, well, before we get too involved, I want to open this thing up and see what this blower is doing. And get the filter sizes, because this is our first time here. We gotta get that stuff entered into our system. So let me do that. Let me open up this blower, and we will go from there. We have traditional belt-driven blower motor with a drive, B66. It does spin freely. Not gonna get my fingers too involved in that or dive in too much, because I do still have power on. I don't want to reset anything yet, and we want to look at these filters. So I'm probably going to be resetting this and seeing what it does, but before I do that, I want to dive in a little bit more, make sure I've got 24 volts coming off that transformer, see if there's any, see if I can't trace it out and see where we're losing 24 volts. All right, this is looking just like a carrier setup, except a little different. You can see feeding here for the evaporator on the inside of the filter compartment. Pretty cool. So you do have access to, the manifold. Stage 1, stage 2, pretty cool. Looks like this sensor's just floating around here. Should be in this well. And what do we have here? Looks like somebody bypassed the economizer. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it that way. But yeah, this sensor here should be tucked up into this well. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't get that up in there and put a zip tie on that to hold it in place. Like this one. Looks like it had this has a little clip on it. Yoink. That one appears to be out of its well. I got that put back up in there for now. There's no clip on that one. I don't see it anywhere, and I need to go down and get zip ties out of my van. I don't think I have any in this small bag. Yeah, no big deal. It's in there for now. We definitely want to get a zip tie on it to hold it in place. That way when the blower's running, it's not going to pull that out, which is, I'm assuming, what happened. I'm going to check, make sure we have 24 volts coming out our transformer, and start tracing it out. And look at the wiring diagram, of course. All right, we do in fact have 24 volts from our transformer. And looks like it feeds right here to this board. And the board is showing a E6, which is, I have no memory as I get older, evaporator coil temperature sensor fault for system B. So it may be exactly what I found in this compartment, with that evaporator coil sensor being out of the well and not secured. So I'm gonna go ahead right now and go get a zip tie, and I'm just gonna pin this up. See, it just fell out just by touching it. So I'm gonna go get that put in place and zip tied in so it's not gonna fall out. And I think we're gonna end up resetting this system, because I don't have 24 volts coming out of the board to do any control. Not through the smoke detector, not through the thermostat, nowhere. But I do have 24 volts here coming off the transformer directly to our board, so it's probably just locked out. I'll be back with at least 2 zip ties. I got 4 zip ties, guys. I got more than that, but I just grabbed what I could while I was down there, whatever was close. All right, yeah. So that looks like circuit A to me, first stage, because it's on the lower side of the evaporator, but we will get that put in place and secured, and then see what the deal is, see if we can get this thing to kick on. Not sure why they don't have the economizer hooked up. Like I said, this is a Sunday service call. We may return to troubleshoot that if they want it troubleshot. If not, I've got more calls to head on today, so let's see if we can get this one running first and go from there. All right, it is back in place. I don't know why they mounted the well with the opening down. It seems like gravity would, you know, if the clip's gone, the gravity's gonna pull it out. Anyway, whatever, I would have mounted it up. That way, even if the clip came loose, it's not just gonna fall out. But again, I'm no engineer. There's probably a reason, a very important one. All right, so nothing on the drive. We've got no 24 volts. We've got 24 volts to the board. Just gonna pull this and confirm that. If I can get this off, there it is. Yeah, so that's going straight from, oh, I just reset the board right there. So let's get my meter fired back up here at well. That sensor putting in the well took way too long, longer than I expected to put 2 zip ties on, but I had to like bend my back out of place. And there we go, 24 volts. You can trust me on that. We have it. Oh my goodness, Ryan. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this back on. That's gonna reset 27, it says. 10. It says 10. Hey, we got a blower. All right. We've got a blower. Oh yeah. Look at her go. So, yeah, heat exchanger looks good. Let me get this panel on. All right, well, that blower door took longer than I expected it to as well, but the thing fired right up. We are running in heat. Let me get this filter panel off, or on. I'm wondering if that sensor came out and caused this thing to lock out. I don't know. We're gonna run it though for a little bit and see if it gives us any more codes. I'm gonna recommend that we come back and do a full startup on this. I am gonna check the temperature rise on it. They don't want me to do anything more than get it running for now, and I only do what I get paid to do. And that's what they're paying us to do. So that's what I'm gonna do. Do. Man, it's like breaking into Fort Knox to get to the heating section of this thing. But it appears the burners are up here. And I don't, trying to get this panel loose. I did take this off. Your inducer, combustion blower right there. Yeah, I can hardly get into it, but the burners appear to be right here. And this whole panel is welded in place. Let me remove this panel, see if I can. And I got to get some tape around that smoke detector wire that's stripped before it arcs out on something. Like I said, trying to get into this thing is like breaking into Fort Knox. I will be back, you can guarantee it. Oh my goodness, I cannot figure out how to get this panel open. I got these 3 screws out. I must be missing something here. Goes back around. I don't see any other screws. I see this locking formation on the metal here. I hate to like bend it all up to rip it off, but you got to be able to get to the burners. What the hell? What the hell? I'm enjoying carriers more now that I've ran into this sucker. Fort Knox. Ay, ay, ay. I'm gonna carry on just to bring you guys along, but yeah, what the hell? It's loose. It's just this metal. What's going on here? How do I get to the burners? Well, I figured out that this thing swings out. This might make things a little easier. Huh? Look at this. Hopefully I don't get electrocuted on anything here. What do we got here? I don't see any screws holding anything in place. All right, so we got our flame sensor, our igniter, rollout, our burners. Down here is our reducer, pressure switch, and gas valve. But still, this thing is like very, oh, there's screws up there to get all that taken. I don't know. That's as far as I'm going with it. She is heating, and I just don't feel like putting it all back together for nothing. But yeah, what a pain, kind of. And remember how I said, how do you get to that filter dryer? Well, here, this is how. I actually like this feature. Swing it out on a hinge like that. Now I can get in here, so when this compressor dies or whatever, you know, your sensor back there fails. Looks like we've got mufflers. Is that what we got here? Mufflers, filter dryers. I believe those are EEVs. Yeah, with little plastic caps. How cute. There's my screw that I lost. 2 separate condenser coils. I like. If we get a leak in the coil, you don't have to recover the refrigerant out of both circuits. You can, assuming that's second stage and this is first, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I like the 2 separate condenser coils. That's nice. And you've got your suction line pressures right here, A and B. It doesn't appear that they give you a high side port. Let me make sure. Where are those going? Follow the cap tube. So go over there to the liquid line. So you get your liquid line port. It's a liquid line port. I like that. So your high side, and then your suction line. Everything is independent outside, like a little pigtail off of the line. I kind of like that, I guess. So you have all 3 ports. So that's cool. LG compressor over here, and a Copeland, Emerson, Copeland scroll right here. Very cool. ECM condenser fan motors with a serrated edge to take your finger off if you ever stick it in there. That's cool. And I like this panel. The only thing I don't like so far is this contraption for getting into the burner section. But anyway, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to get some temperature rise going and move on to my next call. But very interesting. I've not seen one of these newer Tranes like this until now. And hopefully I can bring you along, and hopefully you watch. But it looks like a pretty fancy unit. I like that door, that hinge door. So that's how you get into the burner. But it looks like there's a couple more screws up top, and it like fits up in that lip. But I'm not worried about opening that all up. And this probably just opened on its own. Probably vibrated enough to, because I can hear it vibrating here. Just kind of, there we go. Look at that. Solving problems over here. Beautiful. So I only have, I don't know, 25, 30 screws I had to take out of this thing to get access, but that's all right. Gonna make a little hole here before the heat shuts off and start testing temperature. Then we'll button this sucker all back up. Did I mention I am in Washington, Pennsylvania? We got a Target over there, an Office Max, a Dick's Sporting Goods, a Honda store. Look at all the activity. Got a big weird roundabout here in this town for some reason, but all right, enough blabbing. We're moving on. All right, so I've got my temporize going. We're at a 112 and climbing right off the rip while I put this thing back together. We'll come back and see what that maxes out at. Where's my, oh, it's over here. It's over here. See what my temporize is supposed to be on this. Oh, let's see. Temporize. 25 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. 14 to 36 degrees Celsius. So we need to be between 25 and 65 degrees difference between the supply air temp and the return. So as I button this up, we will max out our supply air temp and then we'll move it on over to the return. It was reading 64 in the store, so we'll see exactly what it's reading. 133.8 is where we maxed out on our supply air temp. So we'll let that run and see what our return is and then do the math. 77 degree return, 133 degree supply. That gives us 56. 56 is within the parameters for temporize. 25 to 65, so we're right there, and I'm good with that. I am going to recommend filters and belt and do a full startup on this. Why not? Like I said, Sunday, overtime, cold, it's running. We're probably going to end up picking this up as a maintenance account as well, so we will leave it there. I've only got, I don't know, 25 screws left to put this thing all back together, so I'm going to leave you there. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you watching the video. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That'll notify you anytime I got a new video coming out. Leave me a comment, hit like. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.